Hi, I'm here with Zeenat Patrawala, the in partner development for Google Health, which is really cool. There's got to be a lot going on in this area. I'd love to hear a little bit about what you're doing and what brought you here to Colorado Technology Association.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me. It's been such a lovely day with the women of tech in Colorado. So where would you like me to start?
Well, so Google Health, presumably looking at how technology and health intersect, and a lot around AI. You were in a discussion earlier around AI. So talk a little bit about what's going on in that space.
Sure, of course. So just to give a little bit of historical context, so we have a team at Google that's really interested in research of machine intelligence that sits under Jeff Dean, that is very much like a think tank of machine learning and deep learning. And as we sort of had researchers in this area, one of the areas of interest was around medical and looking at data applications and how we could apply deep learning to these medical data sets. So it came really from a place of research before we really realized that any of these hypotheses were true. Google has a lot of background, history, and proprietary knowledge on image classifiers. What does that mean in real terms? It means that from all the YouTube videos, we were able to identify a cat video from a dog video, right? And so it doesn't sound that interesting, but from a machine learning problem set, it's a really difficult and technically difficult problem to solve. So we took a lot of those same techniques that we learned in the YouTube space and said, can we apply that to learnings in medical imaging? So one of the things that I talked about today was, we looked at retina fundus images, which is kind of images of your eye, and we said, can we build an algorithm that detects diabetic retinopathy on the same grading scale as ophthalmologists? Can we do it at the same sensitivity specificity rate, meaning as accurate, if not more accurate, than ophthalmologists? And so that was a real flagship paper that got the momentum going, that this was a space that researchers wanted to invest their time in.
Wow, yeah, that's could be really valuable research potentially that could be applied then to help people's lives, right? I mean, there's a lot of
yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. I mean, just to kind of fast forward on what that means in real terms. So, typically when you go to the physician and you have a diagnostic, it takes a few weeks to get to that information, that something is wrong, and then we sort of get into what does your care look like. With these algorithms, we can get answers in minutes. We can use these tools in areas of the world that don't typically have the specialists on site to help them.
Oh, that's
so if you
cool.
think,
Yeah. So much application. You have an incredible background in healthcare and health technology, right? And you've probably seen a lot of rapid change, I can imagine, over the past, few years. Even, is there anything that's particularly stuck out to you or surprised you as you've been going through this, seeing this change in the way technology can be applied to healthcare?
Sure. So my background has been predominantly on the drug development side and the deep science side. And for the past 8 years, I think that there's been a lot of desire to bring technology into healthcare, but unsure how to unlock the value. Where are the business use cases? Is the technology kind of developed far enough for this to be the age of health tech? Do we have access to the data? Is there enough data? Have we brought the right interdisciplinary minds to the table to do it? And I think that we are now at a point, at least in machine learning and AI, that the next 10 years will be the wave of when healthcare IT really begins to shift and move and begins to become a part of our everyday life.
That's cool. Yeah, I understand that really came up, in terms of the collaborative aspect of as these AI applications evolve, and also how we bring voices to the table that are thinking about ethical use cases and applications. So it does feel like there's much more a lot of richer conversations going on, not just sort of laboratory work, right?
Exactly.
got to be exciting. How did you get into this space?
It was very serendipitous, I think. So I was at a biotech company called Raptor Pharmaceuticals prior to doing more traditional corporate development in that sector. And as we were looking at in the rare disease space, how do you find these patients?
Wow.
A lot of times in rare diseases, it's really hard to find patients. They don't know they have the disease. A lot of the physicians don't know how to diagnose them, especially if it's hard to find organs, meaning like pretty deep in the system. Unless you do a biopsy of that tissue, you may not know that you have it. So in a lot of the space that we were looking at non-invasive ways to diagnose patients. And so we began to look at machine learning as a technique. And it has this appeal that it could be a solving for all of these hard problems. Would you be able to look at skin images or pathology images or eye images to diagnose diseases in the liver or the kidney? These are kind of questions that we had, and that's how I became interested in machine learning as a discipline.
Oh, super interesting. So what have mentors been an important part of your career at all?
Tremendously.
Okay.
Yeah, tremendously.
Yeah.
I've had different mentors in different capacities give me different perspectives of where I should go and what I should be thinking about and where the market moving, how you deal with different elements of different hierarchical structures.
Yeah.
And I've been very thoughtful to choose people that I've had a connection to, that some of them are in healthcare, some of them are in completely different industries, just to give me a perspective of people, right?
Well, yeah, that's fantastic. And so is there anything that came out of today as it relates to Colorado that you're excited about, or is there anything else about being in Colorado that's particularly exciting for technology for you?
Yeah, look, I had no idea what I signed up for, put it that way. So I was so impressed with just the breadth and depth of women in tech that were here.
Yeah.
I came as part of the Google Cloud representation. They had sponsored the event, and so was unfamiliar with how large of a community there was. I thought this would be like a 50 to 100 person seminar, and was just taken away with just the number of exceptional professional women that were really thinking about transformative ways to change their company, and that this is an area that is bringing best of class women, really thinking about data cleansing, data integrity, machine learning applications, and how to move the companies here forward into the digital age.
Yeah. Oh, great. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We really loved having you here, so appreciate your time and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.